Do you ever feel like you need alone time just to function? Like it's not a preference, it's a biological requirement. For years, society has called people like us shy, antisocial, or even lonely. But neuroscience tells a completely different story. If you feel drained by small talk, but energized by deep ideas, your brain isn't broken. It's physically wired to process the world differently. Today, we are looking at 7 scientific signs that your brain is built for solitude and why that is actually your superpower.
Sign number 1. You experience a physical, social hangover. And I don't mean you're just tired, I mean you feel physically depleted. Here is the biology. For many people, socializing releases dopamine, the reward chemical. It gives them energy. But for those wired for solitude, prolonged social interaction can actually trigger the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. Your brain perceives the high volume of social data, faces, voices, nuances, as a workload. When you leave a party and feel like you need to lie in a dark room for 2 hours, that isn't a mood swing. That is your parasympathetic nervous system trying to flush out cortisol and bring you back to baseline. You aren't being difficult, you are biologically recovering. Sign number 2. You have low sensory gating. Imagine your brain has a bouncer at the door, deciding what information gets in. In neurotypical brains, that bouncer is strict. It ignores the hum of the fridge, the texture of your shirt, and background noise, so you can focus on a conversation. If you are wired for solitude, your brain's bouncer is much more permissive. This is a trait often linked to sensory processing sensitivity. You take in everything: the flickering light, the smell of the coffee, the tone of someone's voice. This is why crowds drain you. You aren't just hanging out, you are processing 10 times the data of the person sitting next to you. Solitude is the only state where your data processing center finally gets a break. Sign number 3. Small talk feels like manual labor, but deep talk feels like fuel. This comes down to neurochemistry. Extroverted brains rely heavily on the dopamine pathway. They get a hit from external stimulation and quick rewards like laughter or high-energy banter. Solitude-wired brains often rely more on the acetylcholine pathway. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter linked to focus, internal reflection, and long-term memory. It makes us feel calm and content when we are thinking deeply or focusing on one thing. Small talk doesn't trigger acetylcholine. It's just noise. But a deep conversation or reading a complex book, that lights your brain up. You aren't being snobby. Your brain just runs on a different fuel source. Sign number 4. You are rarely bored when you are alone. The philosopher Blaise Pascal once wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." For many, silence is terrifying because it forces them to face themselves. But if you are wired for solitude, your default mode network, the part of the brain active when you aren't doing a task, is highly active and vivid. You have entire worlds, debates, and projects running in your head. Solitude isn't empty for you. It's a crowded room of ideas. If you can sit in a chair for an hour and just think without reaching for your phone, that is a rare neurological skill. Sign number 5. Brainstorming sessions shut you down. Corporate culture loves group work, but your brain hates it. Why? Research suggests that for solitude seekers, social evaluation triggers the amygdala, the brain's fear center. When the amygdala is active, checking to see if people agree with you, worrying about eye contact, it inhibits the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logic and complex problem solving. In a group, your brain is in defense mode. Alone, your brain is in logic mode. You aren't a bad team player. You just need isolation to access your highest intelligence. Sign number 6. You absorb emotions like a sponge. This is linked to mirror neurons. These are neurons that fire both when we act and when we observe others acting. If you are wired for solitude,
your mirror neuron system may be hyperactive. If someone is sad, you don't just know it, you physically feel it. If a room is tense, your body tenses up. This is why isolation feels like a shield. You need to step away from people, not because you don't care about them, but because you care too much, and it's exhausting your emotional battery.
Finally, sign number 7. You prefer a few deep connections over 100 shallow ones. Evolutionarily, this makes sense. Early human tribes didn't just need social butterflies who kept the peace. They needed the Watchman, the person who sat on the edge of the tribe, quietly observing, noticing changes in the environment, thinking deeply about survival. Your biology isn't a mistake. It's an evolutionary role. You are designed to go deep, not wide. So, how many of these 7 signs did you relate to? If you found yourself nodding along, I want you to comment "rewired" down below. Stop apologizing for your need to be alone. It's not a flaw, it's your biology. If you want to learn how to turn that solitude into a genuine strength, make sure you subscribe to NeuroSolitude. I'll see you in the next one.